Vata is forefinger, Pitta, fire, is the middle finger, and Kapha is the ring finger.
Vata means what?
Vata means the air element, and then the fire element, and then the earth element. So 3 elements, and that's what we're checking. The superficial pulse is the imbalance. That means this is the vitiated element. That needs specification, balancing, and buffing. And in the constitution, where we go to the deepest layer, we know which elements are at base of our being. To look at the energies, we need to look at the qualities. Qualities are attributes of energies. To understand what Vata does and how it expresses in our body, we need to look at the attributes as the qualities, and we need to look at the dynamics. So Vata is basically the energy of conduction and transmission, where things are moving. So whether they can move quicker or they move slower, and according in which tissue that movement is happening. If, for example, in one tissue we see quicker movement than it should be, then that tissue is predisposed to derangement and diversification. It may lose its normal qualities. That means the Vata is deranging the tissue, and this is called the Vata ama, which is the Vata toxin, which is not tangible. It's not like mucus, because it's like quicker movement, too quick of movement. What it does to the nervous system, for example, it pulls neurons apart of each other, making the axons longer and making the impulse to have difficult time jump from one neuron to another neuron, making the reaction slow because it stretches the neurological tissue and makes it depleted and deficient. And that way the Vata increases in the neurological tissue, causing specific conditions thereafter. But generally, Vata is the movement in the body. It oversees the movement of the food through the digestive tract, blood through the circulation, impulse conduction through the nerve fibers. That's what the Vata does. So Vata likes places where there's dynamics. The domain of the Vata is the intestine. If it's pushed out of the intestine and flows into the circulation, it's looking for the system where it can land quickly. It can be either circulatory system itself, because it's circulating, it has the dynamics, and yet which is better is the nervous system conduction. And this is why Vata affects the mind very quickly, and not in a positive way. Symptoms may develop like anxiety, worry, and stress. But then again, it depends. If the mind, for example, under the influence of Kapha energy and it is stagnated, then introducing some Vata there would actually be balancing. This is what the Ayurveda is based on, balancing these energies in different systems, in different tissues, tracking where the element overflown, in which tissue it went, and then introducing the counterparting element to balance it within that tissue specifically. This is the basic level of Ayurvedic knowledge, understanding the effect of doshas on the tissues and on our physical being generally. But what is more interesting is how the prana carries the consciousness through the mental body. That's another part, because doshas do not specifically tap into the consciousness, but prana is consciousness. So in order to know what the distortions of the mind on conscious level, we really want to understand the flow of prana through the subtle bodies and see what blocks that. For us to work on ourselves and become better in many ways mentally, to optimize our emotional response, to optimize our cognition and the way that we react to things, where we are under the critical thinking. We don't have the time for emotions. We need to really critically think in the right way. And what does it take to be balanced in terms of emotional response and not become sentimental under no circumstances, but always know the reasonable way out, tapping into the higher mind, somehow avoid reference to samskara. We have these samskaras of distorted perception and the way that we perceive the world. These samskaras, they create the kleshis in our mind. So kleshi, there's a popular French word which is called cliche. You know what cliche? Cliche is like something that we habitually do. Oh, that's cliche. Or something that people just repeat here and there. They repeat, and this is cliche. What is real? What is cliche? It's from Sanskrit. Bravo. Where the kleshi means the prism created by the samskara on how the mind perceives the world and makes the conclusion of it. And we usually live on these cliches, kleshi. So we have a lot of kleshis, and we need to surpass the kleshis because they are anarthas. Anarthas is the undesirable effects of these kleshis because they can be expressing differently in aggression, which is the reaction, inappropriate reaction to anything. And that actually means that the person who is aggressive has been victimized previously and created this samskara of aggression. So the victim is the aggressor, or when we see the aggressor, we need to understand he was the victim at the same level. So when we see one is the victim and the other is the aggression, we are more on the victim side, right? We sympathize. But the aggressor, we tend to hate. But we need to understand that this aggressor is that victim specifically, maybe sometime back in life or whatever. He was that little child being aggressively treated. And now he's created this distortion that fell into the subconsciousness samskara of aggression. And the mind refers to it in each and every situation. Like he is feeling vulnerable, he becomes aggressive in response. And this is a kleshi. And that brings anarthi, which is the undesired effect that will affect everybody around. So something that we want to get rid of. Doing so, we need to always try to refer to the higher expression of the mind, buddhi. Buddhi, number one, is the path, buddhi. But in the critical moment, do we have time to do that? Mind quickly references the samskara. And we want to be focused on the buddhi mind. Buddhi mind is a slower mind. It's more universal. This is why it's slower. This is what I like to say. Man-made environment is of the manas. We made the clock, right? We go by the hour. But there's no such thing like an hour in the universe. At least there's like morning, day, and night. And this is the buddhi way of thinking. When somebody says, I'll meet you in the morning, they're speaking from the perspective of buddhi mind. Where somebody tells you, I'll meet you at 9 o'clock in the morning, they are particular by the lower mind expression. So the flow of the buddhi mind is somewhere there on the background. And this is why the immediate answer may not be adequate because of the projection of the lower mind, unless the person is so already advanced that the answer from the buddhi mind comes very quickly.
A friend of mine told me it takes me 4 seconds to respond.
Well, if you're doing it with your buddhi mind, then that's even better. So, but
It's a good thing, right?
yeah, but
Always know. Yeah. We just have to wait.
but that's what's really required is like taking little time, stepping off and just like pacifying the emotion and start thinking clearly. This what making less mistakes if you do that. So referring to buddhi mind.
And then be up. Takes me 4 seconds.
Yeah. So now what prana does, and this is what we're going to do right now. We're going to do a little practice of eradicating samskaras out of our body, subconscious realm. I like to call body a subconscious realm. However, body has very high complexity with its tissues and organs and things like that. But it's just the expression of the mind. But anyway, modern day medicine and everybody is just so focused on the body. They break it down to like little part. And modern day medicine is doing an excellent job in doing this. Believe me, I respect modern day medicine for doing it, for breaking down our physical body to the basic structures. It's good, it's helpful, it's really helpful. But being trapped in it and just knowing only that way does not provide the real means of healing. Because when we're healing, we cannot just heal our physical body and be happy. Now the healing, the true healing starts with at least healing the subtle body, the mental body. And healing the mental body is number one, getting rid of these kleshis, is removing the samskaras from subconsciousness. If we do that, then we are on the right path. So prana has this element of chi, and when we can correctly convert and activate the chi element of prana and saturate our subconsciousness with it, that eradicates the samskara. It dissolves the samskaras. The intense chi energy eradicates the samskaras from the mental realm.
Kids,
And
we're
we're gonna do the practice. We're gonna practice eradicating samskaras from the subconscious realm of our mental body. This practice is called Vipassana. Vipassana meditation is called observing as is. As is. Everything is as is. No modification, no work of the mind. The only work of the mind that we need to do right now is concentration. The mind needs concentration because the concentration of the mind ignites the chi. The attention is the tip of our concentration. Attention is the tip of mental realm. So where attention, that's where our mind is. We are gonna put the tip of our mental realm to the point of the etheric body magnetic field, which is under the nostrils. So here,
all your attention goes
in this point.
Yes.
So here we have the magnetism of our etheric body. Male channel meets the female channel, creating the magnetism inside our body. And while it's doing so naturally, not altering the breath in any way, we are actually bringing our attention to this point, waiting until the friction happens. Well, not specifically.
Focus on what you feel in this area.
Yes.
Then it tells.
It's, yeah. So, all right. Okay. And I will be guiding this meditation. So we're going to breathe a little bit. And then I will ask you to shift that attention that you are holding here in the point of the entrance of the breath between the upper lip and the nostrils. I'm going to ask you at some point to bring that attention up to the top of your head. Okay? All the way to the top of your head. And then we're going to be scanning our body with our attention. All right, so let's begin. Everybody sit down, relax, close the eyes. Assume the most comfortable position as you can so that you can relax. Now, allow your breath be natural, unaltered in any way. As your body wants to breathe, allow it to do so. Inhale, exhale at its own pace. Now and then your body might want to make a deep sigh. That's good. Your breath may be harsh or it may be smooth. Doesn't matter. Now the attention, we need to bring the attention of our mind in the point between the upper lip and the nostrils. Right there. All of your mind's presence is in that point, observing the breath. Always present in this moment. And we observe as the breath flows in and goes out. No matter what the breath is like, can be deep or it can be shallow, rough or smooth. It's natural breath of our body. If the mind wants to roam away, that's okay. That's the nature of it. No criticism. We just bring the mind back gently to the point of observation between the upper lip and the nostrils, keeping our mind neutral, keen, and acute, very balanced and equanimous. Now gently shift the attention to the top of your head. Concentrate there. Feel that point of the top of your head. And now slowly, while keeping the breath natural and the attention focused, we begin scanning our body, starting from the point down. Do it slowly at your pace, trying not to miss a single part of the body, being very vigilant and attentive. Keep your awareness open. Go down, scan your head, go down to the jaw, to the neck, down to the shoulders. You're just being aware of your body in that part very keenly, continuously dragging your attention down through the body. Go down the arms, the hands and the fingers. Return to the top of the torso. Then let's scan the torso, the chest and the back. Now the abdomen and the back. Dragging your attention slowly through the legs now, down the legs. Being aware of each and every part of the body. There can be some areas where the attention cannot concentrate. That can indicate some blocked areas, some areas that needs to be worked on. Linger there for a quick minute. Draw your breath into that area. Do a couple of natural breaths into that area. And then continuing the scanning. Continue the scanning all the way down to the tips of your toes. Once you've reached that, return, turn back, and scan the body from the bottom up now. Slowly at your pace, being very attentive. Attention is the key, very vigilant, equanimous, and aware. Each little part of our body. Returning up to the top of the head. Through the torso, through the arms and shoulders, to the neck, face and the back of the head, and up the forehead, and back up to the tip of the head. Tip of the head. Now let's do a couple of breaths and open our eyes. When you do this practice continuously, you will feel your attention becoming electric and pushing the charge through your body. And if you becoming even more established in this practice, you will not just feel the electric, you will see the light going through your body. That's the type of meditation that eradicates the samskaras out of the mental realm, subconscious mental realm. That way you will unblock your mental body for the flow of prana, allow prana to reach the distal places in your body, rejuvenate them, restore them, reestablish the normal physiological flow of energies in certain those areas, will allow the exchange of somatic energy in those areas, the rebuild and restoration of the tissues, of the internal organs, and things like that, and regaining the true health back. Not only just modifying the way that we feel about our body, but really putting the entire body back to the normal function of systems and organs. Now in Qigong, when we do some practices, they also work with the internal organs, pretty much the same way that you do the Vipassana. It's like maybe a little more advanced.
expertise.
All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. So in this practice, when you just work with a specific organ, you're just visualizing it. And this is what it means, where your attention is in touch with your internal organ and can navigate the flow of chi. And remember, we have the chi. We don't need to specifically generate it or ask where is it coming from. Our mental realm is already established in it. It's already circulating it. We just have the deficiency of some blocked areas where it flows. And this is why when we're working with specific organs in the Qigong practice, we're really opening up the pathways of Qi towards the organ. That means the electricity. We know what electricity, electromagnetic field that actually sustains our mental realm, because our mental realm functions on electricity. Qi is electricity. In fact, the syllable C in the word electricity means chi, electricity.
Feeling, right? Emily? C
Yeah.
in the word electricity, that's chi in Italian, right? And that's chi energy. Yes.
So chi is electricity, and electricity what sustains our mental body. And soma, which is water, water sustains our physical body then. And water actually is the product of Agni. It flows out of Agni. This is how it connects to our physical expression. Well, what I can say about the elements going further is that each element is distinguished by 5 sub-elements. Pitta has one element or subdosha that is called sadaka pitta. And this is the pitta of knowledge, highest intellectual pitta. That's the one that is really strong in you. Continuously do check your pulse, study it, read about it, then you will understand the dynamics. A fundamental understanding of the true state of elements. This can be not particularly, but the difference between the pulses in different parts of our body conditioned by the conditioned nadis. If they have some blockages due to whatever happens inside the organs, then the conduction is already interrupted and the pulse will already show different states of elements too. So it depends on, again, because different organs and systems are coinciding with different sides. That means that the pulse hardly likely gonna be the same, but the most superficial expression could still be common in here and in there, especially the vitiated state of the air element can, if you track it here on this pulse, most likely you will hear it here too. If we are refining it down to tissues and to organs and to the toxins and through the tissues, then definitely there's like very tiny subtle differences. And this is how the pulse is not going to be the same in either arms.
In 3 simple words, recommendation to pacify or to balance the Vata, because everybody's air element is out of balance.
Yeah, very basic ones. Ground, meaning take slow walk outside, barefoot on the green lawn, hug the tree. Another one is take shower. Vata vitiates. First thing is your breath may go off and stop being normal or even. So we always pay attention to the breath and keep it even. Any situation gets our breath off its normal pattern. If we want to control our mind, we need to control our breath. Especially important, taking breaks, not rushing into actions. The surroundings pushing you, distress by any means, do whatever it takes, but distress and just need to withdraw from situation. So this is the best way to not react, is go and take a walk. And drinking water, drinking warm water or herbal tea with ginger or aromatic herbs, with lavender, maybe rose. That actually.
What helps to bring the Vata down, because when you travel, it gets vitiated, it's ginger lemon shots. Oh. So whenever you get a chance, ginger lemon shots, just, yeah, brings the Vata down, yes.
Comes very helpful. We've traveled it, we know for fact. It's very effective. You just carry those, couple those shot bottles with you on the plane. When you land, first thing you do when you get off the flight, you just take that straight. And you feel so great, See, doshas are very fluid. They do not, like, we put the doshas back in balance and we think that we've done our mission. That's it. Mission accomplished. We're good and set for life. No, tomorrow they will start vitiating again. They're dynamics. And this is why I was saying that Purusha is still and non-dynamic, the consciousness, the positive meridian. Prana is stable, whereas the doshas are very fluid and they're dynamic. They're always change. And this is why when we start applying the effort in order to balance this fluidity, we are never 100% successful. The moment that we put them in balance and we think they're in balance, the next minute they start vitiating again. Like, let's say you feel great, you feel balanced, you feel light in the body, you feel grounded, you feel clear in the mind, and you sit down thinking, okay, now I'm balanced. Even if you take pulse, and then the vitiation of Vata that you had before is not there, you don't feel it, and you feel like you have to press further down in order to find where's that vitiated Vata is, and you cannot, and you feel, okay, I'm very balanced now, I'm sitting down, relaxing. The next minute, the phone rings. And it vitiates your Vata right away. So there you go. So your vitiated state. And if you don't take a break after that, let's say that, and recuperate it back to normal state, that imbalance will continue to accrue. And then it will bring the Vata to more extensive derangement. But it's not possible to always balance after every single phone call, of course. But generally, in the end of the day, you know your constitution, and you know that your elements are in balance more so by the quality of your digestion, the quality of your energy, existence, other factors of our body, our mind. So whether the mind is calm and non-reactive, and non-emotional, which is a good thing, or emits the good, positive, sustainable emotion of joy. This is where we need to get to, where our joy is endless and we feel it and nothing can distort it. Nothing happens on the outside that can break the flow of that joy. So that's the way, that's the point we want to get to. And that's the continuous. So see, and this is how everything is love, because this magnetism is that we harness in our etheric body is happening endlessly, right? The vortex is happening endlessly. That means the divine father and divine mother are always in this chemistry. And they are always in exaltation because of that, because of the production of this friction of chi. Chi, their son Brahma is born, and Brahma, as the child, is the light, is that exaltation, the knowledge, and the sustainer of the physical universe. This is why we are in this love each and every second of our being. The life is perpetual. It's when we don't feel love on our physical, on our scale of my individual scale, I feel like I'm abandoned and nobody loves me. My parents just, dropped me in the orphanage. They don't love me. Nobody loves me here. My wife is so mean to me. My kids just try to always run away. And but inside here, my etheric body is always harnessing this magnetism of the divine mother and father being in love, in the relationship. And as the result of the relationship, this chi energy is coming from this magnetism, saturating my being fully. If I'm not blocking it, then I will feel this love. I will start projecting this love too. And my organs will receive this chi, that love, and I will achieve the highest state of the mind and the body. But if I have blockages, which is samskaras, which one my parents put me in the orphanage, that created a huge samskara that's now blocking the flow of chi through the mental realm. And of course, I will feel the deficiency of love, of course, and that will be expressing somehow. And my etheric body will be very shrunk, and my mental body will be very scarce on chi element. And due to that, I will probably develop some emotional need of eating food. And this is the projection of my unhappened love, then I will start eating because the mind still wants this love. It wants to feel with this chi. And the only source that it can actually resort to whatever it can is the food. And this is why the consumption happens. And this replaces the feeling of love. But yeah.
Speaking of food, if they're really hungry.
All right. Yes, relaxation is the fundamental base for meditation. So relaxation is good. Easing, especially the subtle body relaxation. When we say, let's relax, and we always think of by the body. But, at the same time, the mental body can be very constricted and uptight. And that's another thing that actually blocks the flow of energy. And that's what we want to also relax.
Saw some blockage in my liver, and I think that corresponds with Pitta,
Yes, yes.
correct? So there was alignment there.
Wonderful. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Great observation.
yeah, great.
I feel good. I feel like calm. I went to do Vipassana for 10 days. So it reminds me of that time that it was just calmness and love and peace and just be here and that's it. Nothing else exists.
So as I was scanning, I find that my left eye and sinus, there's an issue here. And I also felt a void down here. It's a hollow. Maybe because we need to eat. I don't know.
Your stomach is right.
Maybe.
I also have done the Vipassana a long time ago, and it always is refreshing to get back to it.
Yes.
Yes.
I also did the Vipassana in 2018, the 10 days. It was quite intense. So having you guide again, it was like a refresher course.
Yeah.
So I was getting back into the scanning and nothing particular happened. I was just getting in touch with the different parts and getting back into it. So maybe thanks to your little booster here, maybe I'll get back into it, get more benefit.
So Vipassana, I think it's a divine practice. It's not just the person who could have developed this. And that means that Buddha actually was the divine person. He actually came from divinity and gave us this practice that does the purification of the mind. Buddha was very particular on the purification of the mind. And Vipassana, even though it's like a silent meditation, people call it, and we just calm down and calm our mind. But in fact, it goes farther than that and purifies the samskaras out of the mental realm. The subtle body purification is very important milestone on the path to natural health, which we want to give adequate attention to. And of course, the physical body, we need to also purify and keep in good state in order to be healthy and experience love, gratitude, joy, and become better humans that we are now. That's all for the purpose of becoming a better human. That's it. Let's eat some food. Thank you for time, for listening out. Really enjoyed your company. Thank you. Enjoy the raw food.